Hey y'all, it's me, Sonja, back again with another video. And listen, I'm excited. Actually, I don't know, maybe apprehensive. I don't know. But I'm all of these things because I'm about to make a confession. And I don't know if you're gonna follow me after this. But I need to say it. I need to say it. I don't believe in the soft life. Yeah, I said it. I don't believe in the soft life for those of us who truly want to live intentionally. Let me break that down for you, okay, in this video today. But before we do all of that, let me introduce myself. Hey y'all, my name is Sonja of SonjaWCoaching, where I help just overwhelmed, awesome, multi-passionate women learn how to acknowledge their dreams, live by those dreams, those principles, those values, execute by using goals and routines and habits, and then win because they're doing them every day, because they're intentional with every part of their life. That's what I do. That's what we do here. And man, I am excited. Now, before I get into the reason why I don't really like soft life, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button. Let the people know. Let the people know that there's somebody out there that's like, no soft life. See what they say. I want to get in the I want people to come fuss me out in the comments. But before you fuss me out, hear me out, okay? Let's get into it. So, yeah, I don't believe that we're supposed to be striving for soft life, or at least soft life how I've seen it defined, okay? Let's break into it. So I looked up the definition. Don't remember where I found this definition, but this is what I read or what I found. And I'm going to read my notes over here on the side. And it says that the soft life refers to a lifestyle of comfort and relaxation with minimal challenges or stress. Some people use the term in reference to life that involves and is a product of wealth and luxury, while others interpret as simply being a simplified life unburdened from stress and responsibilities. Now, I'm coming at this from a Christian perspective. And I don't think that based on this definition, anybody who calls themselves a lover of God, but also really anybody, because we're all here on purpose to do something, right, should ascribe to this. And the reason why is because each one of us has a dream, has a vision that the Lord has placed on our hearts. There is something that you are passionate for, that you want to see happen in life. And if we subscribe to this soft life that's unburdened from stress and responsibilities, I don't think you're going to make it. I don't think you're going to actually get to that dream and that vision. Because real talk, dreams that are really dreams, that are really visions, that are really big, and things that you just can't even imagine how you're going to do, they're going to stress you out. And they're going to cause you to work, okay? So that's really why I think that this soft life, as it's defined by what I learned or what I read, is not a life that we should be subscribing to. What I would like to posit, or what I would like to point out to you, is that intentional life is the life that we should be running after. And honestly, if we are intentional with our lives, then we are going to see that life. Honestly, I believe that wholeheartedly of wealth. I believe wholeheartedly that yes, there's going to be responsibilities, but the stress that you have is going to be the stress that you need to push forward. And it's not even stress. I feel like stress is the wrong word. It will be a life full of challenges, but challenges that you're excited to surmount because you are living intentionally. Let me prove it. Okay, so Matthew 6:33 says to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and then he will add everything else to you, right? But then they talk about what the kingdom is. The kingdom is the Lord reigning here on earth and doing great and mighty things and bringing what is already in heaven: peace, love, joy, kindness, salvation, freedom, all of those things from heaven onto earth. I'm making that collide, that your life will be fulfilled, that you will feel fulfilled in your life, that is bringing the kingdom, bringing his children back to him. That is bringing bringing his kingdom to this place. Then he talks about how we are a chosen people. We're a royal priesthood. That we were set apart to do good works, right? If we were set apart to do good works, but we're focused on not having responsibility, how are we going to do the good works that we were called to do? I'm even thinking about just so many different stories in the Bible where these people have had visions or promises from God, and each one of them had to go through their own trial to get to it. The main thing that I'm thinking about is the people of Israel, right? Like, they came out of Egypt, right? The Lord ripped them from slavery in Egypt, brought them to their promised land, said that this was the land of milk and honey. They went in and spied and saw that it was the land of milk and honey, just like God promised. But were they able to go in without a fight? No. They had to clear the land and make it their own through fighting for it, through trusting God, through all of those things. So if we are living intentionally, and if we're truly desiring to live and to see the dreams and the visions that we have in our hearts, it's going to be a fight, man. It's gonna be a fight. So let me give you 2 things that you are going to have to do to make sure that you are living an intentional life and that you are moving forward in what God has called you to do, because it's good. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I wish that I could come and like shake you and tell you just how good the plans are that God has for you. You may have gone through 1,000,001 different things, but know that when you come to God and when you begin to get serious about making the dreams and the vision of your heart come to pass, man, you are going to be living the life. And honestly, it might be even better than this whole idea of soft life. Okay, so let me focus. I get excited about these things. Like, this is my bread and butter. This is what I love to talk to people about. So I get excited. But anyway, 2 things. 2 things that you need to do to be able to live intentionally in the way that you need to. First of all, you need to know your why. Just thinking about the Israelites, they knew that promised land because God gave them that promised land. Their promise from God was that this was their land, that this is where they were going to find freedom and find all the things that they were desiring, that the Lord took them out of slavery and brought them to this land to live, right? So they knew that this was their why, that this was their inheritance, that this is what they were called to, right? Well, the same is for you. When you know your why, when you know why you're here, what you're doing, why do you have the passions that you have, then you're going to fight for it a little bit harder, right? You're going to be able to move forward and do what God has called you to do. You're going to be able to live a filled and fulfilled life because you know your why. You know what it's all about. So the first things first, know your why. And then the second thing is to build an intentional life to accomplish that why. Once you figure out what your why is, now it's time to figure out how can I make sure that my life is in the right alignment to see it happen. Okay? And I teach about the 4 main things that you all need to do, that all of us need to do to make sure that we do it. And I'm going to break these things down throughout this month, throughout this season. I'm always going to come back to it. But today, we're going to break these things and we're going to talk a little bit about it. You have to be intentional with the time that you have. Psalm 90:12 says that, and earlier in that psalm, David talks about, I think it's David that wrote this song. Can't remember now who wrote it. But he talks about how God, he says that, we only have 70, maybe 80 years if we're lucky. But, well, he didn't say lucky because, luck not in the Bible. It's okay. But he's like, we may get 80 if it's all good, right? And because of that, we have to ask the Lord to help us make sure that we are taking each moment that we have seriously. Teach us to be intentional with our time. That's what Psalm 90:12 talks about, right? So it's so important that we are able to accomplish and build a life intentionally around our values and our why, because this is what's going to get us closer and closer to that ultimate why. So within building your intentional life, like I said, I'm going to be breaking them down throughout this month. But the very first thing that we need to do is to actually acknowledge our dreams, acknowledge the fact that there is something on our hearts that we desire to do, that there is a reason why we're here. Maybe it's to be an amazing mother. Maybe it's to be an amazing doctor that is helping people get healed. Maybe it is a preacher. Maybe it's, I don't know, a writer. But whatever it is, we understand that that is our why. That is the thing that pushes us forward. This is why we were put on this earth. This is the good work that we are to do here on this earth. First things first, acknowledge those dreams. Acknowledge that you are worth dreaming, that the things that your life is worth seeing those dreams come to pass. I think sometimes we get so beat up in life that we forget that we are worthy, that we forget that the plans for us are good despite of our past, despite of what we've done and what we've gone through. You are worth it. So acknowledge that truth and run with it. Okay. And then the next one, and I'm not going to talk too deeply about those because we're going to break them down throughout the month. So keep coming back. Subscribe if you're trying to, you're trying to make sure you get up on them as soon as they drop. Okay. Go ahead, subscribe, like your video, put on your notifications, all that good stuff so that this is what we're here for. Okay. So anyway, the next thing is discovering your why and your values and living by them, or living by principle. So you figured out what your why is. You figured out what your dreams are. Well, now it's time to figure out your why. Well, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What are the values that you want to live by? Are you going to be generous? Do you value your health? Do you value your intellect? Are you trying to grow? Are you trying to become better? Do you value your family? What about your family do you value? What is the thing that you want to put your stamp on about your family? Your friends. What is it about your social network? The Lord talks about how that it's not good for people to be alone. He built us in community on purpose, right? So how are you going to build that? What's your value and your why around your finances? Because your finances are key to helping build the kingdom, but also sustaining those dreams and those desires that you have, right? So what's your values behind your finances? We talk about that in building a life plan, actually understanding your why, understanding where you are and where you want to go in each of those 6 areas that I talked about: God, your health, your mind, your family, your friends, and your finances. Really establishing those whys so that you know how to live. Once you understand your values, I'm getting excited. We about to listen. Anyway, once you understand your values, then it's easier to say no to something. It's easier to say yes to something because you understand why you're doing what you're doing. You understand the values that you're living by. Okay. Then the third thing to do is to develop habits, goals, and routines that will allow you to get to your why, that will allow you to live by those values that you said were important to you. That is executing by process. It's time to build the processes in your lives that's going to help you get to that. Okay, so that's the third thing, right? So that could be building a dream week. That could be setting up goals and routines that are going to help you live a life intentionally, live an intentional life. Okay, and then the fourth thing is to win by intentionally doing those habits and those routines consistently. And that, again, is win by practice, that you're actually practicing what you preach. Isn't that a saying? I think it is. Practicing what you preach. You build out your routines and you do this every single day. I love one of my financial coach was talking about how, he didn't say it like this, but you know the saying that Rome wasn't built in a day. Oh, I remember the story. We were talking about investments and I said, man, my investments went down this month. I don't like it. But then he reminded me, and I know as well, that we're in it for the long haul. We're in it to the end. And though there might be some setbacks along the way, we know that over time, on average, investments grow. So calm down. It's the same with your life. You may not feel like you're making any progress today. It might be boring reading your Bible every day. It might be boring making sure that you drink all the water that you're supposed to drink or work out how you're supposed to work out. It may be boring as I don't know what. But it's the consistency over time that's going to allow you to see yourself get closer to those values that you said were important to you. Right? So those are those 4 things, and we're going to break down. We talked the most about acknowledging those dreams today, but we're going to break down the others in these next couple of weeks, and I look forward to seeing y'all. And if you're serious about getting into this, really figuring out what your why is, how to live by values, how to execute by your processes and win by that practice, then first, join me on the email list. Subscribe to the video. Subscribe to my channel so you can get these videos. But then also, if you're really serious, go ahead and book a discovery call with me. Let's figure out how we can truly live intentionally and throw away this whole idea of a soft life. So anyway, guys, I hope that this is an awesome day for you, an awesome week. I pray that you have an amazing week wherever you are. All right? I don't know why I did that.